An elephant in the room, okay, that we need to discuss. And this elephant has to do with the undercapitalization that a lot of us have in our businesses. Hold on just a second, I'll be right back. Give me 1 second, hold on. All right, I'm back. I love my new office, by the way. Y'all take a tour with me. I'm across from the laundry room, which is not the best, but it's, now that I got it all cleaned out and organized, I've got that up there because the paint is trying to come off the wall. Got my plant over here, got my flowers. I love my little office. But anyway, so we got to talk about this elephant in the room, folks, and that's the undercapitalization a lot of us have with our businesses. And I need to do this because I feel like a lot of us have been working really hard, and maybe we're beating ourselves up a little bit about where we are and where we are not, okay, with our businesses. And that can tend to be, you know, because you're looking at things and you're like, okay, and then you have the outside factors that don't have anything to do with you, like the fact that signage are slowing down, the refinance boom is kind of on the downslide, right? Because we all know the mortgage industry is very, very cyclical. So if you're undercapitalized, and basically for those of you who don't know what that means, that just means you don't have enough money to fund the initial startup costs of your business. So some of us start a business like me and bootstrap it, and you just do what you can until you can, right? That's basically the alternative to being capitalized. If you're capitalized, that means you might have some savings that you had put to the side somewhere in anticipation of you starting this business, or maybe you had friends and family who invested in your business, or whatever the case may be. So the thing that we have to do is figure out as we move forward, because every quarter you need to be assessing your business. You need to be looking at it. You need to see what you're spending, which I don't do. I know what I'm spending, but I don't organize it like I need to. I'm just gonna have to find somebody to help me, because that whole process to me is intimidating. So if that's like you, if you're like that, then you're gonna have to get somebody to help you too. I started with QuickBooks finally after years of being in business. Usually I will just put like everything in an Excel spreadsheet, but I finally went and got QuickBooks. But I still haven't figured QuickBooks out because there's just so much. So I realized I'm gonna need some help. So if that's you and you're really trying to build a solid business, know that you're gonna have, you know, an understanding every quarter of what's coming in and what's coming out, so you can pivot if things are not working. And you want to do that sooner rather than later, right? So first quarter, you might have gone out thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to go after title companies. And it ended up being that signing services were your bread and butter. So guess what you need to do? You need to double down on signing services. You need to pivot second quarter, and whatever you were spending trying to get to title companies, maybe redouble down on it on the signing services. That's what I mean by pivot. Hey, Anastasia. Anastasia, you're a paralegal, right? I think you are. If you're a paralegal, I want to talk to you because I need to have a mastermind with paralegals, because we're going to roll out this notary course. Notary case manager for attorneys. Notary case manager. You heard it here first. I thought you was, don't you work in the legal something? Okay, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong person. But anyway, back to the elephant in the room, capitalization, lack thereof. That's right, with the federales, right? And then I remember, I still want you to be a part of this mastermind because you're in the government side, I think, if I'm recalling right. Okay, so back to this elephant in the room, guys. This capitalization is so very important. So one or two things is gonna happen. You're gonna start your business. You're gonna bootstrap it. Like I say, honestly, I'm not gonna even lie. I love bootstrapping. I love starting businesses. I think that's the funnest part of it for me, is like getting it started. The working part, keeping it going, that part is not as fun. But I love a good bootstrapper. Like, you are my people, okay? I can bootstrap a whole bunch of stuff, okay? But at some point you have to say, because you have to look at everything that's going on around us in the world, right? You can't take 9 and 10 months to get stuff figured out. You got to get money coming in, like, so if you're bootstrapping it, you need to make sure you give yourself like a deadline. Like, I'm gonna give this 9 months. months or 6 months or whatever. And in that 6 to 9 months, I'm going to do what I know I need to do to make something happen. I'm not going to sit around for 6 months and not do anything and then be like, oh, I don't know why it didn't work. That's not what we're talking about. But you're going to have to give yourself a deadline as far as when, if you're going to be a bootstrapper, it's going to stop. Okay? Then you also need to open up your mind to the possibility of bringing on some investors. Okay? There are people in your circle who have money underperforming somewhere in a 401k or whatever the case may be. And if you can show them how they're going to get their money back, then you might have the opportunity to give up a little equity in exchange for a little cash. Do I recommend that? No, not always. Sometimes. I don't have a hard answer on that one, right? But that's another way you can do it. So you got bootstrapping, which is you trying to figure it out. And remember, while you're figuring things out in this 6 or 9 month deadline that you've given yourself, you may not get any revenue because the thing that you chose or the path that you chose might not have been the best. And that's why you're pivoting, right? So now you've bootstrapped, which means that you've basically spent time and money for the last however long that you can't get back. And now you got to make sure the next thing you turn to, the next source of revenue that you turn to is super solid. Because now you got to bootstrap over again. And at this point, you got to look at the entire situation because it could be a situation where you're trying to go full time in this and you can't. So you're stuck on your job. And then the job is making you basically sick. Okay. So it's just so you got to figure out capitalization. And the one thing that I think that we overlook is our own skills and talents. You guys, okay? I think we overlook our own skills and talents. Like really, honestly, when I started to recruit and I started sending out my little link of trying to get my sign-in service and whatnot off the ground, I was so impressed with the backgrounds of everybody. There was physicists and high school principals and scientists and stewardess and all these different people that have been like doing what they've been doing for like 20 years. And we're signing up, and because the reason I knew this was because I put a category like on the form. It said, "Tell me a little bit more about your background." And I was like floored. And so what I think we miss when it comes to capitalizing our business is exploring our own skill sets to see how we can monetize those on the way to growing these businesses that we're trying to grow. Either you're going to bootstrap it, which means you're going to take whatever money you currently got coming in, okay, which may or may not be what you need, right? So bootstrapping is the process of taking that finite bucket of money that you're already spreading around everywhere else and taking a little bit of it out at a time to go do this little thing and this little thing and this little thing, buy a printer, get some Google ads, boost to Facebook, do a pop buy. You see what I'm saying? So that's what bootstrapping looks like. I am the queen of bootstrapping, okay? If that's one way you can capitalize your business. The other way is to go get money from somebody as far as an equity or a debt. I wouldn't recommend doing any debt. I wouldn't do that. If I was you, I would not do that. Stay away from debt at the beginning. I mean, there is good debt, but you don't need it at the beginning when you're trying to start your business, okay? You would rather get equity. Give equity for some cash. Don't do that, okay? And that was it, you know. So you got bootstrapping. You either go give away a little piece of your company in exchange for some cash, or you borrow, which I don't want you to do, or you use your talents. You've been doing stuff, some of y'all, the same thing for the last 15 years, and couldn't nobody tell you nothing about it. Like your level of expertise is high in that particular area, right? So my thing is this. Sometimes when you start a business, if you're starting a notary business and you see the writing on the wall and you know it's about you going to direct, right? You know if you could set things up to go direct, that you would probably be able to sustain your monthly income and replace your monthly income from what your corporate job was going to do. But in order to do that, you know you got to have a serious business presence. So you got to get all this stuff set up. You got to get your LLC and the corporate book. Y'all know, was it Miss Lynn? stepped on my toes with that video about having your LLC life together. So you get that costs money, and you can't only bootstrap so much. Like, you are not an attorney, so you need to go to an attorney to get your stuff set up like it's supposed to be set up, okay? So that when you're marketing to these title companies and they see you, not that they're going to see your corporate documents, but when you've got yourself set up, including your corporate documents, including your email signature, including your business account, including your, social media presence and everything, then you look bigger than what you really are. And so when you start marketing to these title companies, they're like, okay, I'm dealing with another business. I'm not just dealing with just somebody off the street, some notary trying to, get some signings. I'm dealing with a business owner. And that to me is where the rubber meets the road. That's where, if you're going to be spending time doing this, you should, is to have this presence like you're bigger than you really are, right? And so that when you do market to these title companies, because they're easy to find, I think a lot of times it's just intimidating to market to title companies if you don't really feel confident, or if you don't know how to, approach them and that type of thing. But really, honestly, you're providing such a valuable service. It's just a matter of being as professional as possible. I think that's the biggest thing with title companies, because they're going to want to know that you got your stuff together. And when you have all these things in place, these LLCs and, the corporate documents and your business license and your business account and your business card and your QR code and all your social media, all that's together, then you present a good image, and that just saves. Image is everything. It's 9/10 of perception is reality, right? So you've either got the bootstrapping, you've gone and got equity or debt, which I don't want you to do, or you're using your talents to raise funds so that you can go do that, so that you can go market like a business, and you don't have to bootstrap and see them. You drop off some, candies or a little bag 1 month, and then they never hear from you again, right? If you tap into your talents and that you've earned, right? Because you've been doing something before this, okay? And yes, you've left that, but that knowledge that you have is still there. So when you're trying to start a business, you're gonna have to have some capital, right? At some point you have to have some capital, or it's gotta start generating revenue pretty quick. So if you know you gotta have capital and you can't or don't have the opportunity to get it in the other ways, or bootstrapping is wearing itself out, now it's time to tap into you. You see what I'm saying? Explore that thing that you know, right? Because we are now in the day and age of everybody is aware that they are in charge of their own destiny. And we don't have a whole lot of excuses because of the internet, right? So people are out learning new things. They're exploring new things. It's just an amazing thing to see what's happening you can learn anything on YouTube nowadays, right? So when it comes to the you sharing of you, right? That part right there is something I think a lot of us overlook. And I'm a teacher. And let me just put my little disclaimer out there, okay? I love to teach, okay? I can teach all day. Because teaching for me is getting to talk, and I love to talk, and it's also me helping people, which I love to help people. And it's a little selfish because I love to see people win when they do what I say, okay? If I tell somebody to do something or give them advice or direction, I think that's why I love real estate. Because I'm looked to as, what would you do? What do you think? And I'm like, this is what I would do, right? And 9 times out of 10, I'm right. I'm not always right, but 9 times out of 10, I'm right. So I get joy from that, you know what I'm saying, of being considered to be, an expert, right? So you've got something going on with you like that. That can be monetized, and it's okay to monetize it, because there's somebody sitting in the living room somewhere that needs that information that you have so they can change their lives, right? Okay, so, and there may be enough of them, and even though, like I say, it's not you going back to this thing. Let me just put this out here, because I just picked up on something. I don't want to do that. I'm tired of that. Somebody's saying that. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm sick and tired of that. I'm never going to do that again. Okay? One of y'all just said that. Okay? No. Okay? Your knowledge is not yours to keep and hoard. I repeat. Your knowledge is not yours to keep and hoard. I don't care how you feel about that past aspect of it, of how you were using it, the job you were in when you had to use it. You're associating maybe something negative that was in the environment around the knowledge, but then don't blame the knowledge, okay? Because what's happening is, in this world, there is this transformation happening, and knowledge is power for people, and they're seeking it out every day, right? Look at YouTube, okay? Just look at YouTube. I can go to YouTube right now. I'm learning about how to become a freight broker on YouTube right now, okay? There are no shortage of videos for me to learn how to become a freight broker, how to put my business model together, because me and my 20-year-old son are going to start that business together because he's tired of working for corporate, okay? So he decided, you know what, college is not for me. He worked at Home Depot for a couple of years, and now he's working, he drives a forklift. I'm so proud of him. He just didn't want to go to college. But now he realizes that working for someone is not where it's at. So we are looking into the freight brokerage for that. So we go to YouTube and we're learning. That's what's happening in America. I can't say for everywhere else, but that's what's happening in America. I see so much of that. You know why? Because these views on these videos are high. These subscribers are high on the how to do this and the how to do that. Okay? So you need to add your how to the mix, because it's special. It's something nobody else can do 9 times out of 10. And if you feel like it's not, then it could be that it's a commodity type of knowledge. Like if it's how to tie a shoe. Okay, yeah, right. We all know how to tie a shoe, right? So no, it can't be something like that. It has to be something that you've spent the last however many years becoming the expert in it, or you've developed a passion for it and it's been a hobby of yours for years. But there is something about all of us that's special, right? There's nobody on here that's listening to me that can say, oh, I don't have anything like that. No, you do. You might have to think a little bit longer about what it is, exploring it, but there's something that you have that nobody else does, right? So, and the other piece is, like I was talking earlier, I am a teacher. I love to teach. Everybody doesn't love to teach, and I get that. And so my favorite way to teach people is to talk with them on Zoom and do this, that, and the third. And I know a lot of people aren't like that, but that's the way that people sometimes want to consume as far as content. And that's where they're willing to give some of their hard-earned money so that you can help them, right? But if you're not that person, if you're not that Zoom person, I see people doing it in other ways. I see people creating ebooks. Either way, you've got to figure out a way to tap into you so that you can get the capital that you need to properly fund your startup, your notary business, your whatever business that you've got going on, right? Because all of us have got a lot going on. I don't think there's anybody that's out here in these streets doing just one thing anymore, right? You know, and then let's talk about that, because you know what? I feel shame sometimes when people say, oh, jack of all trades, or, you know, you just got so much going on and all these. I don't say shame, but I feel a twinge when I hear that, because I'm like, yeah, but I got to. Because with the real estate, I've been in real estate since '06, and real estate is up and down. And I don't care how good I am, I don't control the buyer, the seller, Mother Nature, hello, okay? The lender, the appraiser. I don't control none of them people, all right? So I can do everything I'm supposed to do, and guess what? Deals might not close for months, or deals may not close forever, okay? So all the time spent, all the money spent, all the energy, all that's gone. So I don't understand when people say, they forget also when they say jack of all trades but master of none. There's actually, that's not all of it. There's another part to that people leave off. But when I heard it in the past, I have felt this twinge of, are you doing too many things? When in reality, as a business owner, you want to be just like an investor. You want to be diverse. You want to have multiple streams of income, because why? Like I said, with me, real estate, if you got all your eggs in the real estate basket, you're going to have emotional problems. Okay? You are going to go through some emotional changes in your life. Okay? It's going to go like this. It's going to go like that. It's going to go like this all year, every year, okay? And we're not going to even talk about legislation, you know, because you got lenders that are going to change their overlays, and you got laws that get changed that affect lending. It's just a lot. So you've got to have, if you're in real estate like me, more than one stream of revenue, especially if you're by yourself. Like, I'm not married, okay? I've got 2 kids at home, 2 kids are grown, and it's just me. I got to make sure the yard gets mowed, the trash gets taken off, the lights get paid for, the stuff gets fixed. Okay, so I don't have anybody I can look to and say, so I've got to create these spaces, and these spaces can't take up all my time and energy, and they cannot bring negativity in my life. So you have to also be real selective about the businesses you get in, the partnerships you get in. They can't bring, I would stay away from anything that brought any kind of negativity to me. But the bottom line is this: undercapitalization is the elephant in the room. And I feel like I have a good vantage point from which to speak on that, because for the last 7 months, I have been just taking all of this feedback in from Notary Nerds Facebook group, from the Notary Nerds University, the members there. We've been doing our meet and greets on Wednesdays. I've been getting some excellent feedback on that. Okay, so I've been able to hear so many notaries, so many, and I know y'all have more than one thing going on, and that's why I know that. So if that's you, you need to start doing some self-exploration on what your talent is and how you can tap into it, because the reality of it is it's not necessarily that our businesses aren't doing what we're wanting them to do because of lack of effort or lack of knowledge. You've taken all the classes. You might still need some more experience, but you're going to get, you can do what you need to do right now, right? Most of you that are underway. Those of you that are new, you're just beginning, and give yourself grace to begin. You don't think, don't expect for you to be from where you are in profitable in 2 days. Don't put that pressure on yourself. But also understand that you're going to need money in order to be able to really make it work. And that's the thing. I think, we take the classes, we get the certifications, and we get the equipment, the supplies and everything like that. And then we think, oh, and then we sign up, or some of you guys that are doing the loan signings, you sign up for the signing services, and sometimes you get them and sometimes you don't. General notary work is what it is. It's going to be sporadic unless you find that special place that you can, tap into. So you realize that, you're going to need some money in order to really go after the really steady business, okay? And that's what you have to have. You have to have capital for, and that's the elephant in the room. That's what I think. I don't hear anybody talking about that, right? I don't hear anybody talking about that. I hear, a lot of hardware solutions, software solutions, and all of these things, and learn. Okay, well, once I do all of this, how is this going to translate into dollars if I'm not able to market consistently? Even if you bootstrap market, you're going to have some money. And if that money is not coming from the grocery budget, then guess what? It's got to come from somewhere, and you don't need to borrow it. You could go get an equity partner, but to be honest with you, I would not get an equity partner unless it was like a spouse. You know what I'm saying? So, because when you start dealing with equity and people, if they don't have the right same mindset as you, then it could be a little bit more stress than you want to bring on. So the only other thing is to tap into your talents and to figure out what it is that you know that other people don't know, and be okay with the fact that that doesn't have to be notary related, because you need to go get money so that you can do your loan signing marketing, so you can execute a real marketing campaign, right? Because bootstrapping in an industry that's cyclical is definitely going to be stressful. Been there, done that. I got the t-shirt. It can be done. I'm not going to sit up here and lie and say it can't, but it's definitely going to be stressful. So a way around that, if you can avoid it, is tap into your talents, figure out what it is that you know that people want. Some of y'all got followings. Like, some of y'all got Facebook groups. Some of y'all got clubhouse meetings and hundreds of people, thousands of people come to hear you talk, okay? Those are the opportunities for you to capitalize on your ability to bring people together and then assess what it is that they need. Assess their problems, figure out what it is that you might already know. You might be listening to this like, oh my gosh. You need to convert that into a business, and it's okay to start another business. Don't get scared about starting another business. This is your money. This is your bank. This business is your own personal bank. Just look at it that way. That knowledge that you have in your ears, between your ears, and you've developed over the last 20 years, either if it's an existing business with a physical product, or even if it's a service business, or it doesn't matter what it is. You just might be an expert in something. You might not even have a business, but you're just super smart in something, right? That's currency. All you have to do is find the people who it's going to help. And then once you do that, then the even exchange happens. They get your help, and they're able to achieve the goals that they're setting out to achieve, and you get the capital that you need to come over here and actually grow your business. Nobody's talking about it, folks. Undercapitalization is the #1 problem that I see in a lot of businesses, okay? Mine included. And it wouldn't be easy for me to see if it hadn't been something that I have experienced firsthand. But what happened when I started to tap into my talent, and my talent is bringing people together to solve a problem. Bringing people together to solve a problem. I used to try to put it in a box and call it, whatever. But what God has blessed me with is if there are two sides and they have a difficult problem, I can help them solve that. I can help them solve that in real estate. I can help them solve that in agriculture, and I can help them solve that in business, period. Okay? Because for whatever reason, I've been gifted with the ability to see, like, you know how you hear like musicians talk about they see the colors of the notes and all of these different things? I'm not like that with music. I'm like that with business. Like when people talk, I can easily hear, oh my gosh, did you ever think of da la 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 la? So people that know me are always like, Monica, you have a brilliant mind. I never thought about that. So and it's sometimes a curse because not everybody wants to do that. And I always want everybody to want it. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you're so smart. Did you know that they don't necessarily want that. And that's cool. Everybody doesn't. So that's the thing that I have to remember, and is that everybody doesn't want it. But if you have a business or businesses that you're trying to start and you know that they're undercapitalized, you definitely need to check into yourself, look into your expertise, see what you're good at. And when I say good at, I mean, I just spilled my water. When I say good at, I mean, not something you started doing yesterday, okay? You got to have receipts, okay? Most of the time, you got to have receipts. People are nowadays over the scam artists. They're over the, you saying you're this, they're going to check you out. It's no longer a situation where you're going to have somebody that's going to come out with something and they're not going to be able to show and prove that they know what they know, right? They do it though, but hopefully most of us are checking people out. So prepare for people to check you out. So it needs to be something in an area that you are the demonstrated expert in, hands down, undisputed heavyweight champ of the world in, okay? If you don't have that, then you're gonna have to do the bootstrapping, and you're gonna have to do the go find an equity partner. And there's no shame in that at all. Just you're gonna have to get with a professional who's gonna have to get everything in writing, and you guys have to, have an understanding of what that exchange is gonna look like. So, but that's a whole nother video. I've done that too, okay? But I just wanted to pop in. Hey, Katrina. Girl, we are in here talking about the elephant in the room. And it's undercapitalized businesses. So I felt I've been sensing a lot of people beating themselves up because their businesses are not where they want them to be. and they've taken all of the courses, and they've gone and signed up with all the signing services, and they've done marketing, and they're not where they want to be. And A, it's because they're in a very, very, very cyclical industry, so you can't control what you can't control. And B, it's because a lot of us are undercapitalized. We don't really understand how important it is to have a budget for marketing. If people, you can go do all of these things, get classes, get certifications, sign up with all the places. But if you don't have any way to constantly be marketing to tell people that you are in business, then it's not gonna work. And then your family's gonna be looking at you. Oh, I thought you were doing this notary business. It don't look like it's working out. La 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 la. Katrina said, I've been killing it with general notary work through my free. See, general notary work on Google My Business will do you good. If you don't have a Google My Business page set up, you need to get one ASAP for all your businesses, for everything. Because Google is saying, hey, look, business, let me know about you, and I'll let people know about you once they do a search, right? Because what Google wants is to make sure that the end user that's searching is getting a real verifiable, legitimate, relevant search from a geographic point of view, local point of view. But anyway, so back to the elephant in the room. Tap into your talent. Tap into your talent. Tap into your talents. I mean, it is what it is. I am teaching 40 people next Friday how to tap into their talents. Next Friday afternoon. And it's only going to be for 40 people because this is my first time doing this class. So I want it to be small to make sure I get it right and get the feedback from them. And then I'm going to take it big, because what I'm going to teach them is exactly what I've been doing over the last 7 months. And that's developing a recurring business model that I'm about to duplicate on both of my other businesses. In the real estate space, I've already got my ClickFunnels under development for that recurring model subscription. I've got a video over there on my YouTube channel, on my real estate channel, that by itself has generated 7,400 views, where I had over here on the notary channel to boost and spin to get that kind of viewage. So I'm heading over to there next to put this blueprint that I've been doing over on that business, right? And then I'm going to do that same thing over with my farm. But with my farm, I have a physical product, which is a rabbit fertilizer. So I've got a database of all of the plant clubs in, this organization. It's like an association. So I'm going to put my ClickFunnels together for that, to those emails, and put that on a subscription. So it doesn't matter about really what kind of business you have. If you've got a business or a area of expertise, it can generate you 5 figures a month. And the only thing that's stopping it from happening is for you to have the, confidence to actually say, okay, I'm going to try this. Because once you try it, if your knowledge is as good as you think it is, which it should be, remember, it can't just be learning how to tie a shoe, but it's waiting for you. That's the thing, it's waiting for you. Now you'll have the ability to not only have all the bills covered, but be able to say, okay, there's 100 title companies in my county. I want to make sure each of them gets, for the next 6 weeks, a bag on Monday morning full of trees. Now you've got the money to go to Dollar Tree to get 100 bags a week and stuff them. And you can't tell me that won't get you a direct line of business somewhere. As a matter of fact, you could get to a point where if you've got the budget, you almost want to start thinking about building your team. Because the one thing that can get in trouble, and I've experienced this at Notary Nerds University, is fast growth and not having support, not having anybody to help. And then once you are in that space, what happens is customer service goes down. So just be aware that when you do tap into your talents and you do monetize your talents, and that gives you that money to be consistent with your marketing, that your marketing is going to take off which means your business may increase at a quick pace. So you might want to be prepared, for that. Just kind of start now networking with people who you could either hand over a signing to and you guys just do, back up for one another, or maybe you actually go get an independent contractor. There's so many different ways that you can do it. Or maybe you have a kid or a friend or a sister or brother, whatever the case. Just be aware that when you do have a budget for marketing, it is likely that your business will go up sharply. And if you don't want bad customer service issues, you don't want to have that happen, then have to train someone. You need to think with the end in mind. Right now, you don't think you need a team, but you need a team. At least one other person that you can reliably trust and that's able to do business, that's commission and, everything that you would need, that you have, they have. Okay. What else? I think that's it. Do you guys have anything for me? But let me see here. I just think it's very important for us to talk about that, to make sure that it's understood that don't beat yourself up if your business is not where you think it should be. You're in an industry that a whole bunch doesn't matter, then is not controlled by you, okay? Then it's gonna do what it's gonna do. The other thing is undercapitalization is real. And yes, it's one thing when you're bootstrapping, but you're bootstrapping in an industry that's cyclical. So you have to be careful with that. And then remember that every quarter you need to be assessing where you are. And if you need to pivot, you need not to be too proud to do that. Pride has no place in business. You have to, pride of work, pride of service or whatever. But when it comes to you making healthy decisions for your business, if something isn't working, then you need to just let it go and be like, you know what? I was wrong. Time to pivot. And then just move on. So let that be it for today. I'm starting to get text messages and I think, yeah, it's time for me to get on the clock here and go to work. But I just wanted to come out here and tell you guys that you got to have money to start your business. Don't beat yourself up. It's got to be either your bootstraps, your equity, don't do debt, or you're going to have to tap into your talents. If that's you and you want to tap into your talents, I'll put in the description box once I post this a link for a training that I'm doing on Friday. 40 folks. It could be 30 online, 10 at the place, 10, 30 at the place, at the hotel, and whatever. But I'm only going to do it for 40 people so that I can perfect it. Then once I perfect it, I'm going to roll it out to the world. So, all right. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.